Hello and welcome. Today we're diving into a really profound idea. What does it truly mean to transform? We're going to explore this through the Quranic framework, which describes an amazing journey from what it calls the darknesses into the light.
So let's just jump right in. You hear this term all the time, right? Spiritual growth. But what does that actually mean? Is it supposed to be some kind of sudden, dramatic change, or is it something else entirely? To really get the Quranic perspective, we first have to unpack a really common misunderstanding. So yeah, let's start with what this kind of transformation is not, at least according to this framework. A lot of us, maybe without even realizing it, approach this whole idea with a pretty specific and often kind of limiting mindset.
So many of us get caught up in what you could call the checklist approach to spirituality. You know the one. We focus on just the external acts, we're ticking boxes, and we're always hoping for that one big moment of sudden change. But honestly, this can lead to so much anxiety and this constant feeling of just never being good enough. The Quranic view completely flips this on its head. It sees transformation as this continuous internal process. It's way more like tending a garden than it is completing a to-do list. The real goal is internal peace, not just a perfect external performance.
Okay, so if it's not a checklist, then what is it? Well, the Qur'an uses this incredibly powerful central metaphor to define the entire journey of change. And here it is from the second chapter. He brings them out from the darknesses into the light. Now, this single line, it's not just beautiful poetry. It's the core definition of transformation in this entire framework. And the specific words used here, they are absolutely crucial.
Okay, pay close attention to the language here. The word for darknesses, zulumat, is always in the plural. Now, this is such a profound psychological insight. It's suggesting that being lost isn't just one single state. No, it's a multitude of different confusions, anxieties, and all these fragmented parts of ourselves.
But then, in complete contrast, the word for light, nur, is always singular. What does that tell us? It implies there are many, many ways to be lost, but there's only one state of true clarity, a single, unified truth that brings all those fragmented pieces of ourselves together into a coherent whole.
So when you put it all together, the entire journey is really a movement. It's the process of moving from all that fragmented confusion towards a single, unified clarity. But where does this work actually happen?
So, if that's the destination, from many darknesses to one light, where does the journey actually take place? How do we even begin to make this internal shift?
The Qur'an locates all of this work in the qalb, or the heart. Now, we're not talking about the physical organ that pumps blood. In this context, the heart refers to the very center of our perception and consciousness. It's that inner landscape where all true, lasting change happens.
And the process that happens in the heart is called tazkiyah. And this is where the language reveals something just incredible. The word comes from a root that means two things at the exact same time: to purify and to grow. The insight here is just so profound. You cannot separate the two. Real growth requires purification. You have to weed the garden before the flowers can ever truly bloom.
But as you can imagine, this kind of deep internal work doesn't just happen overnight. The Qur'an itself actually models the pace of this change, suggesting it's a gradual unfolding, not some kind of instant fix. You see, transformation is laid out as this gradual developmental journey with really clear stages. It starts from a place of just being unaware, or ghafla, then it moves through an awakening and, a period of struggle, before you enter that core process of purification and growth. Eventually, that leads to a new, stable way of being. It's a slow unfolding, not a sudden flip of a switch.
And the Qur'an even comments on its own gradual revelation, saying it was spaced out that we may strengthen thereby your heart. So the pace is intentional. It's designed to allow for deep integration, to make the change sustainable and real, not just some temporary high.
Okay, so this is a really powerful framework in theory, but how does it hold up when you apply it to a real-life struggle? Let's test it against something really concrete.
Let's think about the journey of addiction recovery. The state of darkness, the zulumad, is so clear, isn't it? Feeling enslaved to a substance, living a fragmented, unmanageable life, that constant inner turmoil. Well, the transformation process maps onto this perfectly. Purification is detox, removing the harmful substance. Growth is about developing new coping mechanisms, new capacities. And the result is a state of nur, or light, freedom, a sense of wholeness and inner peace. It's a powerful, real-world application of this entire model.
And that brings us to what might be the most counterintuitive, and honestly, the most profound insight in this whole framework. This journey of transformation, it isn't about becoming someone new.
A verse in the 30th chapter introduces this concept of fitrah, which is our original, pure, God-given nature. The verse says there should be no change in the creation of Allah, which implies that this pure nature is already inside of us. The goal isn't to build it from scratch, but to return to it. And this is the perfect analogy for it. Transformation isn't about creating something new. It's about polishing a mirror that has just gotten covered in dust over the years. That light, your fitrah, your true self, it was never gone. The work is simply to clear away all the dust, the conditioning, the negative experiences, the confusion, so that the light that was always there can finally shine through again.
So to bring it all together, what have we seen? Transformation, in this Quranic sense, is a gradual internal journey from confusion to clarity. It happens inside the heart through that amazing dual process of both purification and growth. And the ultimate goal isn't to become someone different, but to return to the person you were always meant to be.
So that really leaves us with one final question to reflect on. If transformation is simply about cleaning the mirror to let your original light shine through, what dust is covering yours?